Hispanics and Native Americans, you're descendants of the slave trade. Your true nationality according to the Bible.
Yes.
Give me Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3. What we have to understand is that we do not understand. We don't understand where our homeland is. We don't know where we come from. A lot of our people, they descend from the slave trade. Read.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth its owner, and the ass his master's crib.
We know that the ox and the ass are farm animals, not the most intelligent sort, right? Read.
But Israel doth not know.
But the Israelites, aren't the Israelites God's people? Isn't in the Old Testament God constantly talking about the Israelites? Isn't God in the New Testament constantly talking about the Israelites? Why here does it now say that the Israelites don't understand who they are, but an ox and another dumb farm animal do? Read it again.
The ox knoweth its owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know.
Why do God's chosen people not any longer understand who that they are? Read.
My people doth not consider.
He says that is his people, but he also said that his people do not any longer consider who they are, who they truly are, who they really are according to him, not who Jesse Jackson said that they are. Right? Read it again.
The ox knoweth his owner, and his ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider.
And that's one thing an ox and a donkey have up on blacks and Hispanics. They don't even know who they are. Jeremiah 17 verse 4. What we have lost is our whole identity, our sense of self, our sense of purpose. God's laws, the most important thing for any person to know. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
That God gave us. God gave us a heritage. Give me the heritage. Give me Sirach 17 verse 11. The heritage of God. The heritage that we were given is, we're about to read it, but it's something that you should already know before we read it. You don't know it because what? We lost our identity. The ox and the ass know who they are. But the Israelites, God's people, do not. God's people do not understand who they are, what they should be doing.
Right.
What people they actually are even named.
Right.
Read.
Sirach chapter 17 and verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage.
God gave us knowledge and the law of life for an what?
For an heritage.
For what?
For an heritage.
So our heritage is the law of life. God's laws are our heritage. And our people have been wholly disconnected from that. Let's read some of God's laws after we figure out who we are according to God. Right? Deuteronomy 28. Matter of fact, Deuteronomy 1:1 first. We're going to read and understand who our people are in the Bible. If y'all have a moment, I highly encourage you to come and listen to the word of the Lord. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side, Jordan in the wilderness in the plain over against the Red Sea.
So when our people left Egypt from captivity to the Egyptians, we then what? Walked through the Red Sea. When we did that, we were being led by Moses, who was being instructed of God. And Moses wrote things down, which are the first 5 books of the Bible. Read that again.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So when Moses was speaking to the Israelites, these books, this word, is what he was telling them. Now we're going to go to some of the things that he told them. 28 verse 1. We're going to go to some of the things that Moses told our people. Why are we doing this? We're going to identify who the black man is, the Hispanic man is, the Native American woman, the Hispanic woman is. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
What does it mean to hearken diligently? It means to listen very carefully. Read.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
So if we were to listen very carefully to the commandments that we were given at this time, read.
That the Lord thy God will set, thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So that is what we were promised. If we were to listen carefully to God's commandments and do them, that we will be set equal to all nations? Because that's what a lot of our people fight for. Our people don't even consider that being God's people, we're actually above all people in the eyes of God. However, we want to fight for equality with the other nations. Did it say that if we kept the commandments, we would be made equal to all nations? Read that again. Verse 1.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So we were promised by God that if we were to keep the commandments, we would be put on high above all nations. But however, by how low we have fallen. We are in the ghettos, the slums, the barrios, the shanties, anywhere where our people are at. Usually it is the worst part of the city.
Right.
And we're going to read that God did that to us because of our disobedience to his commandments. 15. Now we got one side of the coin. If we kept the commandments, we would be blessed above all nations. If we break the commandments, let's see what would happen instead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments.
So if we did not keep the commandments, listen and hearken unto everything that God told us to do,
and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
and the sub-laws, let us not forget, it's more than 10. The 10 are the template for all. Read.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So instead of being blessed above all nations, we would instead be what? Cursed. Read.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
One of the curses is what? That we will be cursed in the city. I mentioned a moment ago, our people, when you think about where they live, you don't think about giant mansions, do you? Maybe a few of us, a sprinkle of us here or there, but not as a whole. Stop lying to yourself. Stop acting like your people are not the people that are put in the worst conditions in the worst cities, the worst areas of any of the counties that you live in. Stop lying to yourself. Read.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
And what? In the fields, we'll take it back then and we'll bring it up to today. In this country, all of the fields had our people cursed to work in, to pick up cotton. Hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds of it per year. And it weighs nothing, so it added up. Sun up to sundown, even beyond sundown. If you didn't meet your quota, you better keep working past sundown in the dark, or you will be whipped. Cursed shalt thou be in the field. Today in the field, in the job fields, for instance, we're also cursed being that we are not given the opportunities. We don't have the opportunities of the most lucrative fields presented to us. Instead, we what? Run that football field, that basketball court, shoot that hoop, kick that ball, jump through them hoops. Then maybe, if you entertain us good enough, we might give you enough money to make you forget that you are cursed. Read that again.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
We can't forget your people. Never forget your people. Just because you might be an exception. Oh, well, I have some money, but guess what? You're still cursed in the city, you're still cursed in the field. Because when the cherries and berries appear behind your vehicle, your heart sinks regardless of how much money you got. Ain't that right, Kobe? Ain't that right, LeBron? They had, what is it? It was LeBron. He had the N-word spray painted on his garage at his mansion.
That's right.
You can't escape these curses. What's going on, my brother? How you doing, sir? What we're doing, have you ever seen us before, might I ask? Have you ever seen us? So what we're doing is we're showing our people who the blacks and Hispanics are in the Bible, okay? We're reading that the Israelites were giving them a warning by God. So read the warning again for the brother.
Curse. Verse 15, but it shall come to pass if thou shalt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So Moses told the Israelites, who are actually us, what is it? Vosotros los Israelitas de la Biblia. See? So if we were not to keep the commandments, which we're supposed to do, but if we did not, we'll be cursed. That is what we are reading. So let's get some of the curses. Let's identify with the brother, okay? Give me 33.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
So my brother, do you identify with, do you see yourself on the side? Do you see yourself on the side? Who are you? Who are you out of the people on this tribe sign? Can the brother reading it? Read that again for him while he gets that.
Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
You ever heard of the conquistadors? Those conquistadores? When those people came, they did what? They ate up the resources of our people. Our land, which is here where we're standing, where they tell us we are aliens, actually, they're aliens. Read that again. What did these los conquistadores do?
The fruit of thy land and thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
When our people, the Israelites, were already over here, we didn't know those people. They came over here as what? Invaders, conquerors, to eat up the fruit of our land, eat up our labors. This is us. We are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. When the Bible says that these people would come over here and do these things to us, it doesn't say that it would do those things to Hispanics. It says that they would do those things to the Israelites. That's how we know who we are. Read it again.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. Always.
Ever since they got here, ever since these invaders who we will read about, ever since they got here, we have been what? Oppressed and crushed. We have to pay them taxes on the land that belonged to us originally. We have to what? Ask them if we can have some of the water that was on the land that our ancestors already had in their possession. Read the next verse.
Verse 34. So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
So you have groups that come up, like the Brown Berets, the Young Kings, the Latin Kings, that they were trying to instill a sense of belonging and self-worth in their people, because what? They were, this is what they were.
So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
Because doesn't it make you mad to have to work for pennies on the dollar? Guess what? On the land that your people originally owned, our people, the Israelites, shouldn't it make you mad that another people can come over and set up a government in it and say that you have to vote for one of our people to rule over you in your land? This isn't our land anymore. It was stolen from us. That's what would happen to the Israelites, us, for not keeping the commandments. Read on.
Verse 35. The Lord.
Give me verse. Let's read some more easy curses for the brother to understand. Let me get 37.
Verse 37. Deuteronomy 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
So when we would become a cursed people for not keeping the commandments, these Israelites, excuse me, one of the things that would happen to us is what? Our people would become proverbs and bywords. Now when you think about our people, do they not say that we are lazy? They do. However, they used us as the driving force, the only hands on the plow, to create the country that they call great. That is a proverb. We're called lazy, but however, you used us to become the most wealthy nation to ever exist.
That's right.
Read that again.
Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
And we were taken to other countries, other places, and even in these countries, the same racial slurs that they use against us here are translated into that language and used on us over there. When we go to Africa, they call us akata, which means cotton picker, showing you what? That the Israelites over here are different from the Hamites over there. When our people go to Saudi Arabia, they call us abd, which means what? Slave, the N-word basically. We're showing you that these curses follow us wherever we go, because who are we? The Israelites.
That's right.
That's who we really are.
Teach us.
That's who the Bible says that we are. That's how we can identify ourselves out of the Bible.
Teach us.
Right? We are los Israelitas de la Biblia.
That's right.
And y tú, right? Yeah. Y'all get him a flyer, D?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me 30, watch this. 42. Not
Deuteronomy
42, what is it? Yeah, give me 43.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
So, our people were already on this land, correct? We're already here. Los Mexicanos are from here. Adonde aquí. See? So, read that again.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
So, when the strangers came, they were able to lift themselves up in a position of power. When the conquistadors got here, they were able to do what? They said, you're going to serve us now. Right? Read.
And thou shalt come down very low.
And our people have become the bottom of the barrel. Even though God said that we would be blessed to be above all nations, evidently we didn't keep the commandments because you see us now and we're below all nations. Thou shalt become very low. Read on.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
So now in a country where we had Esau, the invaders, the conquistadors, Spain, come to attack us on our land,
That's right.
right where we're standing in the same spot several hundred years later, we have to go to them to get loans and so forth.
Wake them up.
How did that happen?
That's right.
Read.
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
Hey, thank you, sir. Please read that flyer, though. This is your history. This is the greatest information you'll ever receive. Read that again, that part again.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. And he shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
They're at the head of the society. We are at the tail of the society. We are the consumers. They give us jobs. Then we have to work for them, right? Now, give me the children taken.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Pocahontas was a POW. She was an Israelite woman of the tribe of Gad, the so-called Native Americans. Who are you Israelites? You blacks and Hispanics understand this. Read that again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So when they came over here to take our sons and daughters, of who Pocahontas was somebody's daughter, was she not? She was royalty, a princess, an Israelite princess over in this land. And she was taken and given to John Smith as a slave, as a concubine, taken back to England in the 1800s. Read that again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
And she was given to another people, the Europeans, taken from her own, the Israelites, who you are, blacks and Hispanics. Read.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Likewise, same with that. You see in the movie with the so-called Negroes, 12 years a slave, Roots, right? Different movies like that, Django. Their children were taken. Our children were taken. Stop saying them. Stop saying that was a long time ago. It was yesterday in the eyes of God.
That's right.
You are the ones that lost your history.
That's right.
You are the ones that lost your nationality.
That's right.
You are the ones that lost your name.
Teach out.
Your children were taken from you, not them, us. We take this Bible and know that it is your possession.
That's right.
Read it again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
What power did you have to stop the paddy wagon or whatever auction block from carting your son and daughter away? What power did you have, black man? Ask yourself that before you say that was a long time ago. If CPS came in and did it today, you'd be in the same position. Your eyes would look for failing with longing for them all the day long, and you would have no might in your hand to get them back. Why? Because we are the Israelites, and we're cursed by God for disobedience to the commandments. Read it again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
When the so-called Hispanics, who are really the true called Israelites, had their children taken away from them by ICE at the border, They're no longer able to get them back because they're stuck in cages in Texas.
That's right.
Tell me I'm lying.
Teach, Ak.
Read again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Don't tell me these curses don't fit us. Don't tell me Deuteronomy 28 doesn't fit the blacks and Hispanics.
Right.
Are you crazy? Read.
And
Give me 41.
verse 41, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
Tell me, Mr. Hispanic man, who's actually an Israelite, if you're from Mexico, you're from the tribe of Issachar, thus saith the Lord. If your son or daughter is taken away from you, like this scripture says that they would be, like they're doing right now in 2020 at the border,
Teach, Ak.
what power do you have to get them back?
Teach, Ak.
Come back to your true nationality. Come back to your law, so God will defend you. Read it again.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
If captivity is not a cage, I don't know what captivity is. They literally have chain link fences around children. That's not captivity.
Teach, Ak.
I say putting our sons and daughters in captivity on a land that they belong to, on a land that they had before the so-called white man, before Esau, before the Europeans, before the Spaniards. These lines that they drew on the map are political.
That's right.
And they didn't exist several hundred years ago
That's right.
on our land.
Right.
Read again.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
Give me verse 47.
Verse 47, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
This is where we gotta place some responsibility on us as men.
That's right.
Y'all as women, the accountability has to be in place. You need to understand this. We're only in this condition because of our own decisions, because of our own disobedience to God. Read it again.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
God, did he not promise us? Has God ever lied? Did he not promise us that he would give us an abundance of all things?
Teach,
in
John.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 1?
Teach, John.
We read it. He said we would be blessed to be on top of the planet above all nations. Instead, we got the flip side of the coin, the if-then conditional statement, that if we broke the commandments as a people, we would be what? Cursed. So let me ask you this, sister. Let me ask you, you got a moment? What we're doing, you ever seen this before? You ever seen us, Israel United Christ? What we're doing is showing our people who they are in the Bible.
Right.
Who are you in the Bible? You don't know? Can I show you something? Go back to Isaiah. Watch this. Did you grow up in the church? You grew up going to church. So this is the Bible, right? So you've been familiar with the Bible. You've been holding the Bible. You own the Bible, I'm sure. Having the Bible most of your life. However, did the preachers or pastors ever actually show you who you were in it? That is where they have gone horribly wrong, and that is what we are out here to fix. Read.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 1. The vision of Isaiah, the son of, verse 3, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know.
Read that again slower.
The ox knoweth his owner.
An ox is a what? An ox. No, a cow.
Cow,
An
I
ox.
mean a cow.
Yeah,
Ox.
read on.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
And an ass is a what? Donkey, right?
Yeah.
So you got two animals, two farm animals. They know what?
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
So they know their owner and their master's crib. Now watch this.
But Israel
the Israelites,
doth not know.
but the Israelites, they don't know their owner and their master's crib. Read.
My people doth not consider.
God's people, this is God's people. My people,
Doth not consider.
they don't consider who they are. That's what happened to us, okay? So Deuteronomy 101. Go straight to 28:15. What we're gonna do is we're gonna show you who you are in the Bible. Something that your preachers, your pastors, your pork chop eating ministers have never done. We're gonna do it now. Quickly. 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
But it shall, this prophecy speak, right? God tells us what will happen in the future, and then it happens, because he doesn't lie, right? Read.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If you will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, hold that, 1-on-1. We gotta get the setting, right? Because so far we got, if y'all don't listen, this is gonna happen. We haven't read what's gonna happen yet, but first I want to get you to understand who he's talking to, who is speaking, and who is being spoken to.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So now we got that. Go back. These are, Deuteronomy is what Moses was saying to the Israelites. Let my people go. The Israelites. Let's find out who they are. Let's find out if you are that. Let's find out what God told Moses to tell us. 15.
Verse 15, but it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If we don't listen to the voice of God,
to observe to do all his commandments.
To do his what?
Do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day.
Because Moses received the commandments from the Lord, right? And he told him, go tell the Israelites, go tell the Jews now what to do, what not to do. If we don't do them,
that all these curses.
Whoa, that what?
That all these curses.
So if we don't keep the commandments, they're going to be curses?
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So now what we're going to do is read the curses. Because if we read the curses, we'll be able to do what? Identify who are the Israelites. Because the curses only came on the Israelites, it didn't come on everybody else.
That's right.
So what we're going to do is what? Well, let's read the curses. Let's read some of the curses, right? 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Now let's look at our people. The cities and the fields of the world, right? Wherever our people, because watch this, the curses going to follow us, they're going to overtake us, right? We can't just leave out of Jerusalem where we were at and get away from them. So where were we? Where were your people 400 years ago? Where are your people today? Were they cursed? Where would they be cursed at?
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So in the cities, and any city on the country, not just this country, but all the countries, where you look at your people at, is it the best places or the worst places? The cleanest places or the dirtiest places? The places with the least amount of crime or the places with the most amount of crime? The places where the cops come to predatorize your people or come to protect your people?
Teach up.
Are your people blessed in the cities or are your people cursed in the worst part of the cities?
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.